Hey there guys, so recently there were pictures released of Anthony Joshua and he was looking a lot slimmer. Now I put that down mainly to the way the picture was taken, the angle the picture was taken, but I do believe that Anthony Joshua will be lighter next time. I've noticed some of his training videos have included things like burpees. Now burpees and even mountain climbers are a silent killer. If you don't know what a burpee is, it's basically where you start in a push-up position, you bring your knees to your chest and then you jump up into the air and then return to the push-up position. It is an explosive exercise. Now many people, especially in boxing, have called for Anthony Joshua to drop the whole worrying about how he looks thing and just focus on boxing. Don't worry about how you look on Instagram and Twitter and even Snapchat. Just worry about being able to be a good boxer. Focus on that. Because someone like Tyson Fury aesthetically doesn't look that good, but he is an incredible boxer, and that is what Anthony Joshua needs to emulate. Not necessarily Tyson Fury's skills, but he needs to be a good boxer. Now, Anthony Joshua has always had good fundamentals in boxing. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to beat the likes of Vladimir Klitschko and Joseph Parker. Especially with the Joseph Parker fight, he had to keep him at bay with that jab and use his feet and not allow Joseph Parker to get on the inside. Although that didn't seem to help him in the Andy Ruiz Jr. fight because he did let Andy Ruiz Jr. get on the inside. But again, that was because Anthony Joshua rushed in and tried to finish Andy Ruiz Jr. before he was ready to go. That allowed Andy Ruiz Jr. to get his shots away. Because on the inside, Andy Ruiz Jr. has the shorter arms and he can get his shots away and more power into them a lot easier than Anthony Joshua can. Whereas if they're boxing at range, that is Anthony Joshua's game. So perhaps Anthony Joshua could work on his inside game. Now the best way I believe to do this is to have a tractor tire, both fighters put one foot in, then you can't go back, you can't really run away anywhere. You have to stand and trade, and that will get Anthony Joshua used to trading on the inside. Now obviously he doesn't necessarily have to become an inside fighter, he has to be able to do what he does best, and what Anthony Joshua does best is box at range and use powerful shots anytime the fighter tries to rush in. That is his game plan, but what happens when someone can negotiate their way past his jab and past those powerful shots like Andy Ruiz Jr. done? That is when Anthony Joshua does come unstuck. But in those instances, he must use his footwork. He has good footwork. He can move very, very quickly on his feet. Maybe he hasn't got the faster hands than Andy Ruiz Jr., but he is more explosive and he does have the better footwork. You cannot tell me that Andy Ruiz Jr. at 19 stone and 6 foot tall, being that blubbery, can move fast on his feet, because he cannot. He has fast hands and he punches well in straight lines. But if you start to offer him angles, that is when Andy Ruiz Jr. will struggle to keep up the pace with Anthony Joshua, because you would expect Andy Ruiz Jr. to tire, judging by the way he looks, and you would expect Anthony Joshua to be able to do 12 rounds quite easily. But it was the other way around. Now the reason why that is because Andy Ruiz Jr. was not expending that much energy with his attacks. They were calculated assaults and he was landing with every shot. It's the punches that you miss that really zap a fighter's energy. And Andy Ruiz Jr. could not miss with his shots that he was throwing, because after Anthony Joshua got hurt, he couldn't use his feet, he couldn't use his angles, because his legs were so shaky, so he could not come around to the side. He could only back up in straight lines, and Andy Ruiz Jr. just followed him back to the ropes and then unloaded an assault on Anthony Joshua. There was nothing Anthony Joshua could really do other than try and move his head. And that's just the heavyweight division. All it takes is one punch to change the course of the fight. Maybe it wasn't a one-punch knockout, but one punch did change the course of the fight. That is what happened when Andy Ruiz Jr. caught Anthony Joshua high on the head. Because remember, Anthony Joshua isn't necessarily chinny, because he got caught with a punch right on the chin, right on the button, before that punch. And Anthony Joshua took it very well. But then Andy Ruiz Jr. threw the same shot, but higher on the head, and that is what got Anthony Joshua. It was the same shot, probably a similar amount of power, but it was higher on the head, and it's a lot harder to absorb when you get hit that high on the head. But guys, what are your thoughts on this? Anthony Joshua's new approach to training. Do you think he does need to focus more on boxing and worry less about how he looks? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, click the thumbs up and subscribe if you are new. Thanks guys.